on using the TI-Inspire calculator to check your answers and to find where two lines intersect and to find x and y intercepts. We're going to start with a warm-up of some previous material. So warm-up time again. Find the x and y intercepts of the following. So notice that it's kind of like not in the regular gradient intercept form, but even if it was, this is a good way to do it. So you can kind of just start to set up the table. So x-intercept, y-intercept, x-intercept, y-intercept. Remember the x-intercept, what's the value of y? Always, it's always equal to 0. At the y-intercept, what's the value of x? It's always equal to 0. Same for this other one. And then you just substitute y equals 0 into the equation and solve for x. Same with this, we substitute x equals 0 into that equation to solve for y. So notice I'll do them both at the same time if you want. I've just subbed in y equals 0. So when you might want to actually just pause and try to solve it yourself first, because you've probably done a few of these by now. So feel free to pause and solve, and then just quickly check your answers afterwards. So pause now. So hopefully you've paused and you've tried it yourself first. Now you can check your working out. So hopefully you got 6, 0 for the x-intercept and 0, 6 for the y-intercept. And for the other graph, the other line, I hope you got 3, 0 for the x-intercept and 0, negative 6. If you didn't, you might want to pause and just look at my working out, my reasoning behind my answers before you move on. Then you're asked to sketch these two lines by first plotting their x and y intercepts. So notice that I kind of did that. So let's scroll down so you can see the graph. So what I did for the first line, which I did in green, I plotted the x-intercept. So notice I plotted a point here, 6, 0. I plotted the y-intercept, 0, 6. And then I just drew a nice line through both of those. So I ruled a line through them. It's also a good idea to label your equation, you label your line. So this was the equation for that line, which as you can see I got that from up here. That's where it came from. Then now I'm going to do this line in red. So the x-intercept was 3, 0. So here's my x-intercept. The y-intercept was 0, negative 6. And then I just drew a line through that. And as I said, a good idea to label your lines. That's important. So that's done. Now part B is done. Part C is just, hence, use your graph to find the coordinates of the points where the two lines intersect. So here's line 1, here's line 2. What are the coordinates of this point right here where they intersect? So what's its x coordinate? That's right, it's 4. What's its y coordinate? That's right, it's 2. So again, its graphing method for finding the intersection point is pretty rough. So you write just down your answer 4, 2. If you want to put an arrow just pointing out where you got it from, that's okay too. So this is just a little recap on the graphing method. So you find the x and y intercepts of both lines, plot them, connect them up, and find the coordinates of where they cross. Now in this one we're going to...
In gradient intercept form, I'm showing you an alternative method. You could use the table method on the previous page, but you can also use this alternative method when you have gradient intercept form. So remembering that y equals mx plus c, just a reminder, m is the gradient. What is the c? That's right, it's the y-intercept. So as I was just going on about, we could either use the table method on the previous page, like, x-intercept, y-intercept, or in this form, we can plot the value of the y-intercept first, and then use the gradient m to plot several other points. So below I'm going to point out how you can do that. So for example, sketch y equals 2x minus 5. That's in gradient intercept form. What's the value of the y-intercept? There you go. Is it positive 5? Is it? No, it's negative 5. Don't forget the sign. So plot this on the graph now. Plot the y-intercept of negative 5. Let's do that in blue. See, down the bottom, not at positive 5, at negative 5. Tick, done. Then express the gradient as a fraction. So what is the gradient according to our green equation? What's our gradient equal to? Is it x? No, it's 2. So 2 is the gradient. So the coefficient of the x term is our gradient. How would you express 2 as a fraction? Try to think. 2 is the same as... You just ignore that. I tried to write the number 2 over the top. So 2 is the same as... That's right, 2 over 1. Oops, I wanted to do it in a different colour. So I want to do it in green. So 2 over 1. 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So we have a rise of 2 and a run of 1. So from your y-intercept, our y-intercept is that blue point at -5, go up by 2 and across by 1, because it's a rise of 2 and a run of 1. So from the blue point, little blue point I've marked, see with my green pen, I'm going to go up 2 and across 1. There you go, there's my second point. Tick, done. Then from this point we just made, go up by 2 and across by 1 again. We're using the gradient to plot more points. And plot a third point. So see I went up by 2 across by 1 and so on. Go up by 2 across by 1, up by 2 across by 1. Magic. Up by 2 across by 1. We can similarly from the y-intercept go down 2 across 1 to continue on the pattern. Now rule a line connecting these points. And don't forget to label your line with the equation as well. Very, very important. So now we're going to rule a line, going to make sure the line goes through all the points. So yeah, make sure it goes through all the points properly. I'm just going to need to adjust mine again. So just feel free to watch while I adjust. It doesn't see at the top points. Yep, now it's better. It's going through all the points now. What's it missing? My line is missing something very important. I'm missing the equation. That's right. Y equals 2x minus 5. So label it somewhere. Y equals 2x minus 5. Let's not give anyone any reason not to give us full marks. So make sure to label your lines. And I'm going to save my file right now. So that's pretty straightforward, but we might need another example to get the hang of it. Sketch the line y equals negative x plus 4. So it's in gradient intercept form. So what's the y-intercept? It's the constant term. That's right, it's positive 4. So let's plot that y-intercept on the graph now. So there's our 4, tick, done. Then express the gradient as a fraction. So our gradient is it negative x, our gradient? No, it's not. What is the value of the gradient equal to? Good, -1. So now then let's express this gradient as a fraction. -1 expressed as a fraction is the same as -1 divided by 1, because a negative divided by positive is a negative. So we can say we have a rise of -1, going down by 1 basically, and a run of 1. So from your y-intercept, which is a red point, go instead, because it's a rise of -1, go down by 1 and across by 1. So from your y-intercept, let's go down by 1 and across by 1 to plot a second point. So as I said, this is an alternative method for graphing. Some people find this a bit faster, but you just need to have gradient intercept form first. Down by 1, across by 1. Now from that point that you just made, go down 1 and across by 1 again to plot a third point. Down by 1, across by 1, there's our third point. Oh, soup in a sandwich. And continue on, down by 1, across by 1. Down by 1, across by 1. Down by 1, across by 1. Do you want to do another one? Yeah. And remember, from the y-intercept in red, we could also have gone up by 1 and backwards by 1. Up by 1, backwards by 1. See, it just follows the pattern. Brilliant. Now let's rule a line and connect these all up, as I remind you to do down the bottom. So then I rule a line connecting these points. And what do you need to put on that line after you've drawn it? That's right, you need to put the label. So watch me rule my line in lilac. That's pretty good. That's not bad. First go. What am I missing? Why might someone take a point off? To be mean. That's right, I am missing the equation. So don't forget to label your line. You need to play defense and not give anyone any reason to take a mark off. Negative x plus 4, y equals negative x plus 4. Write the whole equation. There you go, that one's done. Let's save our